Hello, we are back to the Keith Harris Show, and of course, I am your guy, Keith Harris. As I said before, I'm glad everyone had a wonderful weekend. It's Monday, it's back to business for a lot of us for the beginning of the week. Now, we have spoken. Listen, our next special guest is on the phone. Last time he was with us, we had a wonderful conversation. He is Listen, he's always busy. He's multi-talented. He's doing a lot of different things. He's an actor, producer, and a director. All right. You've all seen him made appearances in hit films such as Gone Girl, Halt and Catch Fire, Dallas Buyers Club, and he also gets his producing on as well. All right. In such films as If Not Now, Dysfunctional Dynamics, Last Call. The list just goes on. All right. Without any further ado, I'd like to welcome back to the show and roll out the red carpet for actor, producer, and director Scott Takeda. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing fine.
Hey.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, look, man. Look, we're glad to have you back.
Okay, well, yes, that's right. Thanks for having me back.
You know what? Yeah, because look, I think it was no, I know it was last year sometime we spoke. I can't remember exactly what month, but yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah, appreciate that.
No doubt. So I mean, just what's been going on in general. I know you're always working a lot. Have you been able to enjoy any vacations since then, or is it just straight to the studio for you?
Yeah. It actually was had a nice July 4th. Hopefully, everyone else did.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a chance to see some movies in the theater. That's something that normally I never get to do. So it's kind of nice to be able to kind of sit back and have some popcorn. And we saw Meet Earl and the Dying Girl, which is a fabulous film.
Oh.
And then we saw Pixar's Inside Out, which, those guys are masters.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always good to get. Look, I don't get to do it as often as I like to. It really is good to be able to go get your popcorn, get your sodas, and all that. I gotta ask you, did you pay $5 for the popcorn, Scott?
I think that's how they make their money. I really do, but it's so good. It's so yummy. There's actually a theater that we have where it's like you can get your own popcorn. So you can put a layer of popcorn and a little butter on top of another layer of popcorn. You hit another butter, so you have like layers of butter all the way through your fingers.
Right.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, I got to be honest too. I love making my popcorn at home, but I have to be honest. When I go to the movies, I have to get that popcorn. There's something about it that just separates us from everything else. This isn't something.
I think it's a law. I think I read it somewhere. Somewhere along there.
Yeah. Indeed. I guess I'll ask. Let me start with that. I'll ask you that then. Have you ever been to a theater and to the theater? I know you may have been at home. Have you ever been to a theater and watched yourself in a movie?
I have, yeah. It's always kind of a weird experience.
Right, sitting there in the screen, and I guess I can imagine if you were to it would be funny because if you were to ever to go to the theaters in public and you're watching yourself on the screen and maybe the person 2 rows back from you is like, they start looking over. Is that you?
That's my dog. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think the mailman is here.
Oh, that's
the mailman.
Wow. Y'all mail.
Yeah, they love the mailman. I think that there's a kind of a story that dogs don't like the mailman, but our dogs love him.
I'm sure the mailman's happy about that.
Those are barks of excitement, like, oh my gosh, the mailman's here. The mailman's here.
Right. And look, and thoughts that one day the mail will be for him or her.
Yeah.
Listen, so you have a few new projects coming up. Oh, listen, but before I go into that, so many people, listen, I want all the listeners out there to know you are familiar with Scott Takeda, okay? If you don't know that you are familiar with him, let me let you know that you are. He's been in many of our favorite films, so make sure when you get a chance you go check out his IMDb page, Scott Takeda, SCOTTTAKEDA, and you're going to go, wow. All right. Because last time we were here, we talked about him in Gone Girl, as a matter of fact, in Dallas Buyers Club, which again were 2 hit films. And I don't want to harp, but for those who may have missed a bit about that, Scott, How was it being in two fantastic films, starting with Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah, you're talking about have I ever seen myself in a film in the theater, and I was fortunate enough to be at the world premieres for both Dallas Buyers Club at Toronto Film Festival and Gone Girl at New York Film Festival.
Okay.
So and I think in those particular situations, you're just hoping that first of all the film is good.
Mm-hmm.
You worked hard. I as an actor worked hard, but I mean,
right.
The entire crew, the director, the rest of the cast. I mean, everyone, put everything into that film, and they're hoping to craft a story that's going to appeal to the viewers out there, and help to tell a compelling story.
Right.
So you're sitting in there, you're watching, and you're hoping it's a good project, and then you're hoping also that you don't suck. Dallas Buyers Club was just a phenomenal project to be a part of. It was something that I sometimes joke with people and say that I was in a very, very small independent film called Dallas Buyers Club, and they go, "Oh my God, no, that was not a small independent film," and it actually was.
Wow.
I think the total budget film was $5 million. I think it won it got 6 nominations for Academy Awards. It won 3.
Wow.
One of them was for makeup and hair, and I believe I remember reading somewhere that their entire budget for the entire film for makeup and hair was $250.
Whoa.
So yeah, I mean it was for the listeners out there, they might think, oh wow, $5 million is a lot of money. No, 5 million pennies.
Right.
So
if you're in, listen, sorry to cut you off. If you're in Scott Takeda's category, people, $5 million is a little bit of money. Okay,
Well, I'm not making $5 million, but that's the $5 million total budget.
Right.
All the actors, the crew, the cast, catering, and everything like that.
Yeah.
But no, it really was the little film that could, and I think all of us were attracted to that film because the story was just so compelling, and it was a story that hasn't, AIDS hasn't been a topic for a whole generation, the 90s.
Right.
I think Mr. Tom Hanks did Philadelphia, and then it was kind of a different spin on it. So I think that was a lot of fun to be a part of it. And then to follow that up with Gone Girl, which that's kind of on the opposite side. It is a studio film. It has big name stars who are paid, like their normal salary.
Right.
And was just a phenomenal master storyteller, David Fincher's director, and he weaved such a compelling story based off of a best-selling novel, by Gillian Flynn. So, yeah, 2 different kinds of films. Yeah. Both of them a huge thrill to be a part of.
Wow. And so Dallas Buyers, and that was an independent film to start off?
Yeah, it had no distribution whatsoever. I think I remember reading somewhere, and this number is vague, but dozens upon dozens upon dozens upon dozens of times it was rejected.
Oh, wow.
People, tried getting financing for it, and like, no. So, I mean, rejection. And then finally it found financing that held, and they were telling a story during the premiere at Toronto how they didn't even have all the financing in locked down like weeks before shooting, and how the director just gave called to Matthew and it says, "Are you in?" And Matthew says, "I'm all in." So it's like, okay, sometime next week we're rolling.
Wow.
And not all the financing was in. So really, truly, the little project that could.
Yeah. So what, you being on doing a bit but in front of the camera as well as behind the camera, or doing a lot in front of the camera and a bit behind the camera. Where did you begin? Was it in acting or producing or directing? Which was your first start?
I actually started as a TV news reporter.
Right.
So, I went to school, broadcast news, got a bachelor's in science, journalism. Had things turned out, I'd probably be the corrupt and inclined.
Right.
But it just didn't turn out that way. First of all, I looked too young.
Right.
So I had to move behind the camera to kind of advance my career.
Is that what they told you? Did you look too young, or?
Oh no, I looked like I was in high school.
Oh wow.
I was taken for a high school student a lot. So I guess I was blessed.
Right.
I'm older. I'm blessed that I look younger than my chronological age. Usually by at least a decade.
Yeah.
And so, so that was kind of my first switch between in front of and behind the camera.
Right.
And it just kind of set a pattern for what I think is, has become my career, which is being able to switch pretty effortlessly behind and then in front of the camera. It's still visual storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's just by telling a story with, putting together pictures and sound.
Right.
Which is what a director does, or am I telling a story in front of the camera, being part of the storytelling process.
Right.
So, that's kind of where I started, and I sometimes the same day I'll switch between in front and behind the camera.
Did you ever attend school or anything like that?
I got a bachelor's of science from the University of Colorado.
Okay.
In journalism.
Oh.
I started out as an engineering student.
Yeah.
So I have like 5 semesters of calculus somewhere in my head.
Oh.
I always think it's interesting. I process, there's so much math and science in my head. I process everything through the veil of math and science, numbers and figures.
Hey.
But I make my living creatively as an artist.
I tell you what, that's good. I'm going to school for information technology, Scott, and I tell you what, the math is woo. But then you have people who are good at it, and then people who are good at other subjects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder to myself, now, let me ask you this question. Okay, well you just said you use it because you use it in, you use the mathematics in what you do nowadays. But would you say that those things in the film industry, would you say that those things actually contribute to what you do now, if it just wasn't your own formula that you were using? Is there mathematics involved in filmmaking, I guess?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
A lot of filmmaking is editing.
Right.
And editing is all about pace and tempo a lot of times.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
One thing that I do when I'm not in front of or behind the camera is I'm a musician, so I play trumpet. So, and a lot of times there's some studies out there that music and studying music and playing music helps out with mathematics. So there is that kind of whole brain activity that happens with math and music.
Mm-hmm.
So,
indeed.
And I think, like, naturally when I direct, so much of my directing kind of emerges a little bit from my ability to edit. So I think pretty naturally I kind of find the tempo of a scene by knowing how I'm going to edit it. So I guess that's kind of a little bit of math in there.
It is.
I think the other thing that I just kind of take to, so I don't mean to interrupt, is that, the one thing I've learned with math is there is, this sounds weird. As I went, there's mathematics, which is like 1 + 1 = 2, or fractions.
Right.
And then as you start kind of advancing in what we call the field of math, you start learning that math is actually really just a theory. It's an idea. And that, as you start getting into calculus, you start realizing that we think this is true, but we're not really sure. And so I think that's kind of where, if you take math all the way through, it kind of becomes an art in itself.
Yeah.
I think there's that blending of art and science that I find. Also in filmmaking too, is you can take it very scientifically, like, it's going to be this shot, that shot, and that shot, or you can take it as an art, like, I'm feeling this.
Right, because you get into what I can see that because you get into as you people deal with the letters, then you start to think, okay, this you learn this is what this letter means, or describe what this is supposed to mean. I'm telling you, I'm not good at calculus at all, but I know exactly where you're coming from just from the questions that I was asked that I could not answer. So,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the interesting thing about the movie A Beautiful Mind.
Right.
That Ron Howard directed is, you have these, brilliant minds, and they're trying to, essentially prove the universe exists, or prove gravity exists, or prove time exists, or whatever it may possibly be. Right. After a while, they're not using numbers. They're not using equal signs or division signs. They're using really, really obtuse, very vaguely defined mathematical ideas when they kind of scribble all that stuff on a wall. Right. And it's so weird because it's like we think of math as being this 1 + 1 = 2, very solid stuff that we can touch.
Right.
And in reality, as we start advancing and this idea of what we call math, it's really kind of a theory. It's kind of a philosophy in life.
Right.
Kind of getting very philosophical here.
I know, right? Look, I'm like, look, but they do go hand in hand, just as you say, with editing and being able to count time, and just knowing, hey, this is where I need to stop this, and this is 5 seconds, I need to add 10 seconds on. So they do have their relativeness.
Oh sure, yeah, and sometimes it's just feel. It's like, man, I just feel like it needs another beat or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be looking at a scene and it's like something's just not working, and you don't know what it is, and then something inspiration will come into you. It's like, what if we tried it?
Right. I got to ask you about I have to ask you about this because I noticed you said you played a trumpet.
Yeah.
Is that one of your favorite instruments, or what made you get into the trumpet?
Wow. I got into the trumpet because I wanted to play an instrument, and in 6th grade, we had to sign up for, do we want to be part of choir, band, or orchestra, or whatever.
Right.
And so I went to the wall that had all the instruments and a poster, and I looked at the string instruments, the violin, the viola, and I was like, that's kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the band instruments; they were shiny, like brass, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I noticed all the buttons that were on a clarinet and an oboe, and all the buttons that were on a saxophone and flute. And then I noticed the trumpet had 3 buttons.
Yeah.
And the French horn had 3 buttons. So it was between the French horn and the trumpet because I thought 3 buttons. And it was. So I chose trumpet, and it's not any easier. But I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed playing.
Yeah, and I asked that because and you describing it, that is actually pretty much the same thing that made me choose a trumpet, because a trumpet is the only instrument that I have really, I've dabbled with the drums, but the trumpet is the only instrument that I chose. Just like you, I went through it the same way. Okay, these 3 little buttons I can push, but I tell you what, Scott, eventually, my jaws started hurting. And of course I was young then. But my jaws were aching. I'm like, okay, but it's a beautiful, it's a wonderful instrument to play, and it's sometimes amazing how what you can do with an instrument that just has 3 buttons, like the trumpet too. So.
Oh yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Right.
I don't have a lot of time off to play. I do play with a musical group here.
Yeah.
In town, and so yeah, I'm enjoying getting kind of back to the swing of things after being gone for about 8 months or so.
Okay. Now, all right. Let's talk about Funhouse if we can. I know that's to I guess be releasing around 2016. But your character, if I can say, is Ed Favor, right?
Yeah, Ed Favor. Yeah.
So tell us what's going on with Ed Favor in this one, Scott.
It's a Tina Fey film, and Ed Favor is Tina Fey's boss.
Man.
So I have the wonderful pleasure of working one-on-one with Miss Tina Fey. And
wow.
Phenomenal. As funny as advertised. And she has a reputation throughout Hollywood as being incredibly nice, and that reputation is well-deserved and very, very true.
Oh, wow.
Incredibly nice lady.
That's exciting.
It's based off of a best-selling novel called Taliban Shuffle. Essentially about a real-life war correspondent. I think she worked for the New York Times, who covered, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and best-selling novel. And they were able to turn this thing into a screenplay, and turn this thing into a feature film that will come out sometime next year. I actually don't know when they're going to release it. But Glenn Ficarra and John Requa are the co-directors. They recently did Focus earlier this year.
Right. Wow.
And Robert Carlock is the screenwriter, and he's kind of a partner of Tina Fey on 30 Rock and The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Wow.
So.
Now, with the title like Funhouse, okay, and with the cast like you guys, even Tina and yourself, you have wide ranges, okay? So you got actors and actresses in this film that can play serious roles. You can play, roles that make us laugh. With a title like Funhouse and dealing just what you describe and a bit of what the film is about, does it touch on serious issues and it also gives you that breathing room to be able to laugh to a certain point, or?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. It's a dramedy. So, there are some very, very serious moments in the film. There are some really laugh out loud moments. If you read the book, Taliban Shuffle, the strangest thing is it's almost as if the author, and it's an autobiography from the author, Kim Barker, but it's almost as if you can hear Tina's voice in it.
Okay.
But, the cast is phenomenal. Tina Fey, Mark Freeman from The Hobbit, Margot Robbie of Wolf of Wall Street, Billy Bob Thornton, Josh Charles, Alfred Molina. It's like, you kind of walk around set going, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can
starstruck.
With all, you're right. And, because I had been following the post, and, I saw that you guys were putting it, you were working with them and putting that together, and I said, wow, this is going to be a phenomenal film. How did you prepare yourself for this role? Because are you bringing, are you totally in character in this one, or, are you bringing a little bit of yourself to it, or are there ad libs, or how is this going?
That's a great question. One of the things I asked to do when I was on set, when they weren't filming my stuff, is I asked if I could kind of just hang around set just so I could kind of watch.
Right.
And because I didn't know the directors. I know the directors work, but I didn't know the directors. So I kind of wanted to see how they work. And I quickly learned that the first 4 takes are exactly what's on script. And then takes, 5 through 9 or so are highly improvised.
Right.
And as long as you stay to the story, so it's not like in the middle of a very, very intense discussion, you say, hey, who wants a donut? As long as you kind of stick with the story,
right.
The directors will kind of allow you to just kind of play.
Okay.
And so it actually kind of pulled a lot on my improv experiences and stuff.
Okay.
And you just kind of have to be on your toes because, you're working with really, spot on improvisers, especially Tina Fey.
Yeah.
And, she'll throw some stuff out there and it's like, you got to roll with it.
Well, that's exactly what made me ask that question. Is I was thinking to myself, okay, because a lot of people, who's to know if a lot of people are really familiar with a straight plot sort of film coming, from Tina Fey's direction, or like you said, because people are used to her just kind of coming, you know, she's a very smart, talented, and funny actress. So people are used to her being able to just come out of left field, you know, with anything. And so that's why I asked that question: is this film going? Is it going to be directed to a particular subject? Scott.
You know, that's a terrific question. I think, and I don't really know if I have a real solid answer for that. You know, it is a dramedy. So, you know, that's one of the things that I was trying to wonder myself is when is this film going to be released? You know, is this a film that you're going to release during the holidays? And it's like, well, you know, usually that's Oscar bait or holiday film, you know. And is this a summer film? And it's like, well, I don't know. You know, it's not, doesn't have, you know, rampaging dinosaurs all over the place.
Yeah.
And so to me, this kind of feels like an early summer film. I think if I was to read the tea leaves, I certainly don't know everything about the business. You know, I would say that maybe try to get it into a festival. You know, just, you know, kind of build buzz there. And,
right.
I don't know. I'm guessing like a May release, but I don't hold my word to that. This is Paramount Pictures. They've got their own formula on how they like to release films.
Right.
And I certainly don't have any information.
Right.
But it'll sometime next year. I'm guessing early next year.
Right. You know, I almost want to ask you: have you been in any films lately that don't come out? Like.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
wow! Really?
I am in a film that is at this point still kind of hanging out there. It was originally called Stars. It's now called Dark Around the Stars. You know, Catherine Hahn is in the film. Mark Casson is the lead. Elian Douglas. You know, so some really phenomenal actors, and it still has not gotten distribution.
Wow.
It's really, really phenomenal script. And I just think it's just waiting right now.
Yeah.
It'll get released one of these days.
Right. You know, I kind of makes me wonder sometimes. I think films, to me, and I don't know if you can input on this, but films, does it seem so much harder for good films to get distribution than it was years ago?
You know, I possibly. You know, it's hard to say. There's a whole different. There's a whole. Wow. We're starting to kind of drift into an area that I don't have a lot of knowledge on, so I'm kind of repeating stuff that I've heard other people say fairly recently.
Right.
But I think there is this balance between being able to get distribution and which costs money for them to distribute the film, market the film, and distribute it, and then to be able to make money. And so there's all these, you know, scientific charts. That's actually maybe that's where math play as far as Hollywood goes, is the financing and the money behind it. But you know, there's all these kind of charts as far as, you know, will this film make money? Does it have the right type of name, stars, and whatnot?
Yeah, a lot of and I mean all of that stuff is I mean with good cause, obviously. You know what I mean? Everything has a criteria. Now, one of my favorite titles, and I can't wait to find out about this, but I love the title, and I'm sure a lot of people is catchy. Code of Honor. That sounds again like something exciting.
Code of Honor, yeah, fun film. It's Steven Seagal. It's a Steven Seagal film.
I was going to say, it sounds like some good action is going to be in this.
You know, and if you love Steven Seagal, you're going to love this film. It's you know, well, it's very Steven Seagal-esque. So, a lot of action.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very clear-cut, good guys, bad guys. There's no gray zone. There's no, you know, it's a clear-cut action film. And it's fun to be a part of that. Strange enough, a really kind of weird story is I remember, you know, because I was in television news, and television news is a very nomadic career. Right. And I was just leaving and moving to Philadelphia. And during that time period, just before moving, I heard an open call for extras for a Steven Seagal film. And I remember thinking, you know, if I was staying in town, I'd go to that open call. I think it'd be kind of fun to be an extra on the Steven Seagal film. So years later, after my TV career and news was over, here I am, and I'm not an extra. I'm not
yeah. I was going to say, you are not an extra in this one, Scott.
Play a lawyer, Johnny Ito.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it's this lawyer. So, you're playing a lawyer in this one, and I guess you're getting someone out of trouble. Are you getting a bad guy out of trouble, or is it kind of a quick scene? Are you in there for a while, or?
You know, this is actually one that I can't. I probably could say something, but I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, well, don't do it.
But I'm getting someone out of trouble. It might be a good guy, and it might be a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
I can't really say, but because it's Steven Seagal film, there's no middle ground. It's either a good guy or a bad guy, but not.
All right. And of course, and to talk about, let's see. Also you made appearances on Grimm. How was it being on Grimm? One of the favorite shows.
Grimm, wow. You know, that was a fun set to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really fun set to be on. I've been on a lot of sets, and very, very personable lead cast. Fairly laid back. It's like all television sets. It's very, very fast moving.
Right.
But no, I mean the cast and crew really work well together. It's based in Portland, so it was kind of nice to be able to go on location and it not be a typical place I'm used to being in, like Los Angeles.
Right.
It's like, oh wow, it's Portland. So
right.
Got to try out some of the local breweries and stuff like that. Very, very nice.
Oh, okay. Now, but working on the projects, are there, which ones are you currently on? Because I mean, you got like 4. You got Funhouse, Code of Honor, the Messenger as well, where you're playing Han Lin.
Yeah. The Messengers is a fun CW Network series about. I think it's approaching the finale. I think. Getting close to the end of the run for that. Sadly, was not renewed, which is too bad because I think my character might have been recurring on that, but it is what it is. And then I can't say much about it, but my agent told me that I've been placed on a bail for another network project.
Wow.
That I can't say anything about.
Wow. You're always working there. Does this keep?
Hopefully tomorrow we'll find out that I have been.
You'll know something. I may have caught you. I caught you a day too early then.
Maybe a day too early. Yeah. So, but no, this one it'll be fun.
Listen, do you have any do you have any cats in the bag? You plan on coming up with any future projects, things you're thinking about producing or directing something? What about writing? You think you might get into writing one day, Scott?
Possibly. The thing about writing, and I write in all of the stuff that I do. So I mean, it's impossible to be a producer or a director and not have to at least be able to explain yourself in writing in an email or a letter or something like that.
Right.
So, and certainly being a former journalist, writing comes pretty naturally.
Right.
Screenwriting is a craft all to itself.
Right.
And so I'm not as familiar with that. It's a different style of writing. So I think I'd want to get a little bit more comfortable in knowing kind of how to do it. So I've read a book. I think Diablo Cody is amazing for it, having never written anything before, and then just sitting down, reading a book, and then sitting down and writing. What did she write? Oh my gosh. Juno. Pardon me. Yeah, getting an Academy nomination for that. Juno. I'm sorry. But possibly writing. I mean, everything starts with the script. So certainly as a director, I'm constantly looking for good script.
Right.
So it would kind of help the process a little bit if I just write my own stuff.
It's a possibility you could just be sitting down one day and come up with an idea or something.
Yeah, I mean, I I think for me, the thing that I've discovered is I kind of know how to start it. In the middle, I'm good at, and then never quite sure how to end it.
Right.
Never quite sure how to end it.
Right.
So.
Now, Scott, you are, listen, just like the last time we talked, you're cool, you're down to earth, and you're laid back, okay? You know?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you are. When you get ready to go into character, or as you prepare for for a scene, what do you do? Do you have any rituals, or how do you transform?
How do I transform? Wow.
Because you have a, listen, because Scott, you have a business appeal about you too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you play the perfect business kind of person. I also seen you in a scene. I can't remember what it was, but I did see you wilding out one time where you're in a scene and you were, as a matter of fact, it's on a clip I put up. You are, this the one time I seen you kind of going crazy. I forget the film, but you were snatching off your shirt. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was easy money.
Yeah.
Going crazy and tearing off all my clothes. That was fun.
Right.
That was actually the very, very first thing I ever booked.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. But that looked like a fun scene, though, because...
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. And strangely enough, they booked me for a full week to shoot that. They shot it once in like a studio and then once on location. They had, because of the camera angles, they had to shoot that for 2 days. The craziest thing I've ever had experience.
Wow.
But it was, I think I credit my coaches for being able to kind of help me. I mean, it doesn't happen instantaneously. I know some folks, they could be joking and laughing, and then you go, okay, we're ready, and then they're ready. You can't do that. That, to me, that's a skill that's incredible to watch. I've been fortunate to direct some actors that can do that. But usually I need a little bit of warm-up time.
Okay.
And I've been pretty fortunate to work with some directors that at least let you know when your scene is coming up, so you can kind of start warming up in the trailer.
Right.
And then allow you that time to get that emotional.
I could see you. One thing that I could definitely see you play along with the business appeal and the suave kind of appeal. I could, one day I think that what would be awesome is to see you in something where you're like the crime boss almost. Well, you're not running around shooting people and killing people, but you're like the business tycoon, boss owner. You're laid back, you're smooth, calm talking and stuff like that. Like, I could see you doing some action, Scott. Have you ever thought about that, or?
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah. Actually, I've read for some stuff similar to that, but it was a little bit more caricature, a little bit more, rough, mob boss type of thing, where it's like, and it wasn't quite playing to my sweet spot.
Okay.
So it was fun to at least kind of audition for that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I one of the roles I played fairly recently was for ABC's American Crime.
Right.
For John Ridley, and I was like so thrilled. I was because I got to play an asshole. I'm not sure if I can say that on radio. I got to play a really not nice person.
Oh, in this show you can.
Oh yeah, I can say asshole. Okay, and it was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like so cool.
An asshole by the name of Mike. How is it? Nagasaki. Yeah.
Strangely enough, an unscrupulous TV reporter.
Oh.
And just the way he just kind of sets up, somebody for a gotcha interview, and it's just like it's fun. It's fun to play somebody not nice.
You just gotta let go, right?
Yeah, and it's just like, So just to kind of play that kind of role that you can see me in. Yeah.
Right.
Go for that. That'd be fun.
What, I don't know how often, you're always busy, but I know you get a chance to sit down sometime. But do you have any favorite TV shows? Or I don't know if it'd be, contradiction for you to say so, but do you have, what do you watch, if anything?
Okay, so I'm gonna plug something right here. I'm not in it.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to attend it's not a film festival. I guess it'd be called a TV festival.
Uh-huh.
Called Series Fest. It's kind of a film festival for television shows.
Oh,
and
okay.
A&C premiered a show called Human, actually produced in Great Britain,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically about what would our world be like. It's set in present day, but it's kind of set in an alternate world where we actually have like androids, robots that look like humans, but kind of service us.
Mm-hmm.
They are made. They get them to be, sweep the streets or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And what would our world be like? And it kind of brings us some really interesting ethical questions. And do these robots have feelings?
Oh, right.
And so AMC premiered this thing at the Series Fest and brought in the producers, the writers, the cast. And this thing is just gripping. I think it's an 8-episode thing. It just started airing on AMC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not in it. Nobody I know is in it. But I really was like, wow, this is some compelling storytelling. It's very well done.
Wow. Okay. Now, what? So I guess Funhouse. We can look forward to. What's the nearest? What's coming up in the nearest future that we should look out for with you in it?
Wow. Okay. Well, if I end up booking this network series, that would probably be this.
Okay.
That would be this fall.
All right.
I think given the golf film Code of Honor, that I wouldn't surprise me that that's going to be coming out in this year.
Okay.
Funhouse, that will probably come out next year.
Right. It's just so much.
So, the thing about television is the turnaround is so fast.
Right.
So, we could end this interview and then tomorrow I could be auditioning for 2 TV series. And
Right.
those could come out in September.
Right.
So it's just it's the strangest thing. And yet these feature films sometimes they take, even 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because then, as well as you all are doing the shooting and the acting, there's also the production side and just the politics that go on as well with release dates and all of those things.
Yeah. The one television show that I'm jonesing to book, but the chances of it now are greatly slimming. Is the X-Files revival.
What?
So
Wow.
yeah, they're coming out with 6 new episodes. It's going to, I think, premiere in January of 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they're done with casting for them.
Mm-hmm.
So got 2 more episodes that I can potentially, if they write a role that's right for me, and I can end up actually booking it,
Mm-hmm.
be in. But right now, we'll see.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Hey, absolutely. Well, one thing is for sure, some will come, some will go. That's the way it is. But we can guarantee that we will see Scott Takeda somewhere in more than one, more than 2, absolutely. And so of course, we always congratulate you, Scott. Listen, social media wise, can people follow you on the Twitter pages or Facebook and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically my name, Scott Standard, S-C-O-T-T. The last name is Takeda. So that's either at Scott Takeda on Twitter, somewhere on Facebook. You can find me. I think if you Google Scott Takeda, you'll guaranteed to find me somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So there's all that. There's certainly IMDb. Yeah.
No doubt about
Oh,
it.
and you were asking if people wanted to see me. When's the next thing? I actually think Gone Girl and Dallas Buyers Club are airing on HBO now. So
Whoa. Okay.
check your listings for HBO.
Wow, absolutely. Listen, Scott, again, it's been a pleasure. Listen, I'm honored and appreciate you taking time again to return to the show. Listen, in our household, Scott, you're one of our favorites, as a matter of
I
fact.
appreciate that.
We look up film, you know, we tend to try to watch a film every night or watch some type of movie, whether it be independent or things of that nature. And we definitely search Scott Takeda to you know, find what you're in. So, look.
Well, thank you.
No doubt, no doubt. Listen, everybody out there all across the land, you listen to the Keith Harris Show. We have been joined by actor, producer, and director Scott Takeda. As he said, make sure you check him out everywhere. Google his name. Check his IMDb page, Facebook and Twitter as well. Make sure you keep up for the future projects. Funhouse, Code of Honor, The Messenger, Grimm, American Crime. The list goes on, you know, with everything that he's involved in. And also producing as well. So make sure you do that. Scott, listen, you have a wonderful evening. Is it too hot? What's the weather like up there, Scott? Are you in Denver now?
I'm in Denver today, and I'll be in LA on Thursday for a Woody Allen premiere.
Oh, wow.
So today is actually high at 66. Drizzly today. Almost feels like October.
Are you serious? 66?
66, yeah. We had a high yesterday of like 97.
And 66 today. Wow. Look, a lot of people are going, wow, I wish I could get 66. But I know it's a little bit chillier up north. Wow, send some of that chilliness down here. We dealing with 100-degree weather.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Scott Takeda, listen, congratulations on all your success. And, of course, we wish you much more success in the future. And we'll be talking to you soon, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody out there all across the land, that was actor, producer, and director Scott Takeda. All right. Listen, well, you know, his reputation, his credentials speak for themselves. I don't have to do much hyping behind who he is. If you're not familiar with him, make sure you go check out his work. Wonderful guy. Multi-talented is an understatement. He's been doing this for a while now, for quite some time. So, you know, hey, he is who he is. Again, we thank you for coming on to the show.